From the heart of the Coachella Valley, this is the Palm Springs Real Estate Buzz on KGX with your host, John Sloan from the John Sloan Real Estate Group in La Quinta.
Welcome back. Our first guest is Jonathan Williams. Jonathan is the CEO of the Battleship Iowa and the president of LA Fleet Week. Jonathan, welcome this wonderful Saturday morning. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So how did the Battleship Iowa start as a museum?
Well, quite simply, a couple of us founded an organization to set her up as a museum, and the simple way of putting it is the Navy called one day and said, come pick up a battleship in 6 weeks, and that's what we did. We picked her up and did the refurbs to open her, but there's a lot more work to that. We don't have time on this call to do that, obviously.
So when you pick up a ship, how do you do that?
You call your local tugboat company.
Okay, there you go.
And organize them to come and head out there and look at an 187-foot ship and look at the cables that had her connected to the other ships and try to figure out how to disconnect her and tug her off with 4 tugs.
I'm going to have to come out there and take a look at it. I spent about 25 years in the state of Iowa, so I have something in my heart for the Battleship Iowa. So why did you guys decide to put it in San Pedro?
Numerous reasons. I mean, LA has a deep tradition with veterans in the U.S. Navy and service, and so that was one of the biggest reasons. Also, looking for a location for a deep draft port was an important factor of it, so we found a deep draft port that had pier space available and a community that wanted to accept us. So those are the primary reasons why we chose the area to put it in, and she's really been an anchor driver to the redevelopment efforts here on the LA waterfront over the past 6 years.
So what are the most important things a visitor to the Battleship Iowa, what are they going to learn?
I like to say they learn why service and being proud to be in America or be an American, it's important. I think those are the things you learn primarily while aboard. We try to do it in ways that engage different audiences from the young to the older folks that have different stories. I mean, we must all remember that the greatest generation, while that may be some of our listeners or your listeners today or their kids, we also have to know that those that are our future generations have to understand why it's important to preserve freedom and preserve democracy as we know it, and why a platform like this does that and educates the public on that.
Now, do most of the folks that are helping you, are they volunteers?
I like to say about 85 to 90% of the crew is volunteers.
That's fantastic.
We have a little over 50 paid staff members, about 27 full-time equivalent staff members, and about 400 active volunteers at any given time. So, we have a big volunteer base, and they help us from anything from telling the story as a tour guide to doing maintenance and operations and accounting and business administration and a wide variety of tasks aboard.
So I understand that the museum is focusing on more veteran awareness programs. What can a veteran do on the ship? Anything special?
Many different things. So, I like to call it the 3 pillars. We have the 3 pillars of what we do at the Battleship Iowa, and they're education, veterans, and community. One of the things we never really realized aboard was the fact that so many veterans connected to the ship because it was the first time they felt at home since leaving the service. So they're able to come down and connect with others with like minds, like interests, and they feel comfortable and confident as they did when they served. And not just Navy or Marine Corps, but we see Army and Air Force and Coast Guard veterans equally on board the ship. And really it gives them an opportunity to connect with other vets and connect with a civilian population that have like interests and provides a place for them to feel like they belong. With that said, they participate in many different activities aboard, from our volunteer activities like our operations team, as I mentioned, and tour teams, marketing, sales marketing teams, outreach teams, speakers bureaus. They actually do different activities while they're aboard the ship. We're looking at over the next couple of years to setting up a veterans transition type of program where, since we are that platform that vets feel comfortable connecting to. It's almost like I like to call it a mini base in a way.
Yeah, that's cool.
where they feel confident, comfortable, camaraderie, rebuild their self-esteem here, that we provide an opportunity to be able to connect folks to those services that may really that they may desire, and they can really provide value to them. So we're working on that actually as we speak, and hope to see something in the next year or two.
I love the fact that all armed forces are welcome, and kind of gives them, like you said, a nice base. So what does it cost a vet to hop onto the ship?
If they're just touring, I should know this, but I want to say it's $15, right around there.
Okay.
They're just touring. We do a lot of free veteran and military active days that are free every year, and so there are free days for vets and active military to come aboard. But we do also have days where we charge vets and military. Unfortunately, I wish we had more funding. We're not government funded, as many people would think we receive funding from DOD or the federal government or the state, county, city. We do not receive any funding from any of those folks. Okay. The only place we've ever received funding from is the state of Iowa. So unfortunately, we have to find ways to try to make up the expenses to maintain an 887-foot ship.
Yeah, wow. All right, so you've also got the LA Fleet Week coming up. I think this is the third annual one. Is that right?
Yes,
yeah.
Third annual one.
And it's a big event.
It is big. It's in three years, it's reached a scale of a major city event such as New York or San Francisco. We've really kind of hit LA on the roadmap for Fleet Week. And
what would the cost of that participate if I'm going to come from Palm Springs?
Completely free.
Free?
Completely free.
That's fantastic.
The whole event is free.
All right.
Yeah, it's a free event. Luckily, we have some great sponsors. Like this year's Fleet Week presenting sponsor is the Tom Clancy Jack Ryan series, which is presented by Amazon Prime Video.
I saw that, yeah.
Presenting sponsor this year. And we have numerous other sponsors that do different pieces of it, and it's an exciting event. We have numerous villages that have displays and exhibits in them, from Veterans Village to First Responder Village to our STEM Education Village. We have general exhibitors. We got active ship tours. We have a basketball game where we pit the military teams against the first responder teams.
There you go.
We have concerts and entertainment. We have, we're going to have some robot wars where kids in high school are competing with robots against each other to see who's got the best robot. We're working on many different things, and we've got quite a few opportunities and quite a few different things happening at the event.
And what are the dates on that?
That's over Labor Day weekend. So the public days start on Friday, September 1st, and go till Monday, September 4th.
Fantastic. Folks, we're talking to Jonathan Williams. He is the CEO of the Battleship Iowa and the president of LA Fleet Week. And Jonathan, I want to thank you so much for coming in Saturday morning and sharing this information. And folks, remember, this is free. And I have never been on a battleship. I am going to take the opportunity to go see Iowa. So, Jonathan, thanks again. Have yourself a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
From the heart of the Coachella Valley, this is the Palm Springs Real Estate Buzz on KGX with your host, John Sloan, from the John Sloan Real Estate Group in La Quinta.